Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Valkyrie Basketball, the 2019 Western B Divisional Basketball Tournament. And first round action as the Valkyries will take on the Powell County Lady Wardens. Tip-off is scheduled for 5:40 this afternoon, and we should be on schedule. I'll get you some scores of other games earlier going on, but in their last meeting, the Vals lost to Powell County down there 38-32, only by 6 on the 5th of January, and 2 of their starters were out that are back for tonight. Rakaya Grindy obviously recovering from surgery and all the things that's been going on with her health issues. It's good to see her back on the court. And out sick at that time as well was number 21, Jordan Nelson. So both of those Valkyries are back tonight for tonight's ball game. So I didn't get a chance to talk to Jamie Grindy before the game, so maybe I'll have her up here at halftime of the boys' game to talk about the game, depending on how things go. So this should be a good match and a good ball game tonight. We'll take a look at the starting lineups. First of all, for Powell County, and a 5'6" senior, number 3, Alyssa Lamb. Jessie Gravely, number 4, is also a senior at 5'9". A senior-laden team, actually, is Powell County. Number 12, junior at 5'5", Rachel Nicholson, a good ball player for them. Riley Gray hurt the team last time, hurt the Valkyries. Number 14, and she's a 5'5" senior. And at 5'4", senior, number 40, Cameron Scully. Head coach Henry Huber, assisted by Savannah Schulk and Bob Schulk for the Lady Wardens. Your Valkyrie starters for tonight's game, the usual suspects that have been starting lately. A freshman, a junior, and 3 seniors for the Valkyries tonight. It'll be number 11, Emma Barrett for Bigfork. And Emma, just a freshman, and her first season at 5'8", the freshman, number 11. 5'3", senior, number 12, Heidi Schneller. Jordan Nelson, also a senior at 5'8", number 21. And Rakaya Grindy, a senior at 5'8", running the point, number 23. And Ansley Edgerton, who's deadly from the outside, at 5'8", a junior, number 24. 406-270-7384. Text me, let me know that you're catching the game out there. Hopefully we're broadcasting live for you guys. Maybe I tune that up a little bit so you guys can hear. So hopefully you guys are catching the ball game. The Bigfork High School pep band playing in the background as we get underway here shortly. About 2:20 till tip-off of this ball game between the Powell County Wardens, or Deer Lodge, and the Bigfork Valkyries from the Ronan Event Center in the 2019 Western B Divisional Basketball Tournament. And like I said, the Valkyries, I wanted to talk to Jamie about that against Thompson Falls. They struggled a little bit early in that ball game, but got it together and able to pull out a win by 12, 33-21, in a very low-scoring game on senior night against Thompson Falls last Saturday. So she says that they're ready. Talked to the other coach. They're ready for tonight. And, of course, that loss by 6 in Deer Lodge to Powell County, 38-31, all the way back on January 5th. So, new team, new players back, so it'll be interesting to see how this ball game and how the Valkyries come out tonight with their what most of the kids like to do is run that chaos defense that really that Grindy has put it into place. And the head coach Jamie Grindy, assisted by Courtney Gunlock, Jim Blow, and Jason Grindy, and Brandy Couture for your coaches for tonight. Glad to be with you. 406-270-7384. Let me know if you're hearing me out there. We'll be back here in 1 minute with a tip-off of this game. All right, welcome back to Ronan and tonight's action as the Valkyries take on Powell County. In earlier action, I was going to get you the scores before we move on. We had an upset earlier today in the first game, 8 o'clock in the morning. It was Anaconda, the 4 seed out of 6B, 45-36 over Eureka. So Anaconda will move into the game tomorrow night at 4 o'clock as they'll take on the Loyola Breakers as they beat Thompson Falls 65-25. That means Thompson Falls and Eureka on the girls' side in a loser-out action tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock. Just earlier, it was Florence Carlton all over Mission this afternoon. That game that just finished up, and I know I wrote that down somewhere. It was 65-37 that Florence took care of. So the winner of this ball game will take on the number 1 seed out of 6B, Florence, the Lady Falcons, tomorrow at 5:40. So on the boys' side, I'll get those to you. Loyola beat Florence Carlton 78-43, so they'll move on to take on Deer Lodge tomorrow at 7:20 as Powell County, Cummings, the 3rd seed, surprising, beat Thompson Falls 50-32. That means Florence and Thompson Falls play at 11:20 tomorrow in loser-out action. Here's the first of our first-round game tonight. Will be Bigfork taking on Anaconda in the boys' action and Eureka taking on Mission, and those two moving on to the semifinals for tomorrow. We'll get more of that for you here later on. All right, seeing first all is the Powell County Lady Wardens getting introduced. And let me get your official for tonight's game. 406-270-7384. Tonight's sponsor is Bigfork Harvest Foods. And let me take a look at for the girls tonight. It'll be Todd Fiss, Jason Manger, and Deanne Johnson are your officials for this ball game. MHSA certified officials. So the Valkyries being introduced. Emma Barrett, the freshman, had a good first year. The guy announcing kind of mess him up a little bit, put him out of order. Jordan Nelson to get introduced. Ansley Edgerton, so they went the freshman, the junior, and then the rest of them. Heidi Schneller. So hopefully come out strong and put some pressure on the Powell County Lady Wardens. And Rakaya Gritty, it's good to have her back for the Valkyries. A big difference at the point and very calm in her play for Bigfork. All right, 406-270-7384, James LaFontaine, the voice of the Vikes of Owls with you. Let me know if you're tuning in and catching this ball game. We're live on BFSD Events on YouTube, and we're about ready for the tip-off of this game between the Valkyries and the Lady Wardens. Ansley Edgerton will tip it off against Powell County's number 4, Jesse Gravely. And tip won by Powell County. In the backcourt is Riley Gray. Usually running the point guard is great. Up to Nicholson. Nicholson throws it in the corner to Lamb. Lamb shot up and no good. Rebounded and comes down with it is Ansley Edgerton. And she'll give it out to Rakaya Grindy. Grindy dribbling up, gets it across half court. Gives it over on the right side. To Schneller. Schneller in the corner to Grindy. Grindy dribbles out, gives it to Schneller. Schneller over to Barrett. Barrett on the left wing. Look in the corner. Gives it out to Schneller. Schneller back to Barrett. Barrett back to Schneller. Looking underneath, trying to find something underneath as Powell County is tending to pack it in. Gets it into Edgerton from Grindy. Grindy kicks it back out and shot on the way by Rakaya Grindy off the rim and no good. And Bigfork nearly coming down with it, but they're going to be called for a foul. And that foul on the rebound is number 11. Check that, number 21, Jordan Nelson, her first and the first team foul on the Valkyries with 7:01 to go here in the first quarter. Inbound to Scully. Scully in the backcourt, guarded by Nelson. Trying to get across half court, brings it across half court. Nelson falling all the way. Over to Lamb. Lamb on the drive, gives it to Riley Gray. Riley Gray drives, and she's going to get fouled on the play. She'll get 2 shots. As that foul is called on number 11, Emma Barrett. And that'll be Barrett's first and the second team foul
at the line for the Lady Warriors, number 14,
for Bigfork. First shot on the way is short by Gray. And no good. She'll get one more. Second shot up, and she finds the bottom of the net with that one. So 1-0 on your Harvest Foods Bigfork scoreboard. 6:48. Ball into Schneller, back to Edgerton. Little pressure, and Schneller will lose it, turn it over, and Scully comes up with the loose ball, feeds it out to Gray. Gray over the right side to Nicholson. Nicholson looking out to Gray, top of the key, guarded by Schneller. Over to Lamb. Lamb on the left wing, kicks it out to Gray. Gray looking to drive, kicks it out to Lamb on the left wing, guarded by Grindy. Grindy nearly stole it away. Back to Gray. Gray feeds to Scully. Scully underneath. Looks like she almost traveled. Over to Nicholson. Nicholson, and his 3-point shot on the way by Lamb is good. And the Valkyries trail early 4-0 with 6:05 to go. Inbound. Edgerton up to Barrett. Cross timeline over to Schneller. Schneller on the left side. She'll dribble out top of the key and set things up for the Valkyries. Schneller, guarded by Scully. Feeds it down to Barrett, left wing. Over to Edgerton. Edgerton looking to drive. Far left, right side. Out to Schneller. Schneller feeds it underneath to Nelson. Nelson tips it out to Barrett. Barrett shot on the way off the backboard and no good. Rebounded by Lamb for Powell County. And she'll give it up to Gray. Gray throws it across the timeline. Up to Nicholson. Nicholson on the right wing for Powell County. Inside to Lamb. Lamb at the free throw line. Gray drives in, and it's off the foot of Jesse Gravely, and a turnover to Bigfork. And checking into the ball game for the Valkyries, number 33, Isabella Sanesteven, who's been absolutely hot at three-point line. They could use that today. Inbound, Grindy. Edgerton back to Grindy. Feeds it up to Schneller. Schneller gets it to Nelson. Nelson back to Edgerton, and Schneller has the ball at the top of the key for the Valkyries. Trying to set something up and get on the scoreboard as Edgerton gives it back out to Schneller. Schneller over the right side to Grindy. Looking underneath, Schneller feeds it to Nelson. Nelson's going to drive, and she's going to get fouled. And they're going to call that one on the ground. So no free throws for Nelson.
Fouls on number 3, Alyssa Lamb. That's her first personal team foul, number 1.
Fouls. I'll call the number 3, Alyssa Lamb. That is her first team foul on Powell County. Shot by Kaya Grindy on the inbound pass. No good. Rebounded and brought down by Nelson out to Grindy. Out to Sanesteven, and Schneller has the basketball from Sanesteven. Schneller getting pressured, being trapped. And Bigfork, as Schneller had nowhere to go, Bigfork is going to call a timeout. A 30-second timeout is called by Jamie Grindy, because Deer Lodge or Powell County likes to trap in that particular case. 406-270-7384. Let me know. And the timeout is over. So Grindy, Sanesteven, Nelson, Edgerton, inbounded to Nelson, back to Rakaya Grindy, throws it up for Nelson underneath, who did not play in that last ball game. Off her hand and out of bounds, to be turned over to Powell County. Valkyries trail 4-0, 4:23 to go on the Harvest Foods scoreboard. Riley Gray dribbles up. She'll give it to the corner to Lamb. Back to Gray. Gray will dribble to the top of the key and looking to drive. Kicks it out to Lamb. Lamb three-point shot on the way out the back of the rim, and Nelson grows up and nearly grabs it. And Scully comes up with it. Shot by Nicholson is no good. And Schneller down with the rebound. Schneller left side, dribbling all the way up. Trying to trap her on the left side, but she dribbles it up to Santa Stevens. And back to Schneller at the top of the key for the Valkyries. Grindy, right side. Santa Stevens a little bit far out for that three-point shot. Grindy looking underneath it. Edgerton. Now Grindy dribbles on the right wing. Santa Stevens three-point shot at the top of the key. Off the rim and no good. And rebound came up by Powell County's Alyssa Lamb. Lamb gives it out to Gray, the point guard for Powell County. So bringing it across the timeline, top of the key. She'll feed it over to Scully. Scully back to Lamb, and a layup for Lamb. And 6-0, the Valkyries trail with 3:09 to go. Into Schneller. Schneller right side, back to Grindy. Grindy will dribble up, gives it over to Schneller on the right side. Schneller going to be trapped by Deer Lodge. Gives it to Edgerton. Over to Santa Stevens, back out to Schneller at the top of the key. In the far corner, right corner. Feeds up to Edgerton from Rakaya Grindy. Edgerton gets the rebound, puts it up, and scores two. Just Ansley Edgerton. And 6-2 on your Harvest Food scoreboard. Pass up to Scully. She's bumped into by Edgerton. That'll be a personal foul on Ansley. And that's Ansley's first and the third team foul. Emma Barrett returns for the Valkyries. And checking in, number 21, Maya Worth, and number 11, Mackenzie Meager. Worth to the basketball. And Edgerton reads in and picks up her second foul right away. She's going to have to come out of the ball game. And Sailor Martins is going to come in and replace Edgerton as Ansley reached in and picked up that second personal. Inbound to Scully. Scully for Powell County. In the corner to Nicholson. Nicholson looking. Guarded by Schneller. Knocked away by Grindy, and Worth's going to try to drive all the way to the basket, and the whistle blows. And that'll be up number 23, Rakaya Grindy. That is her first and the 15th foul on the Valkyries with 2:13 to go here in the first quarter. And the Valkyries trailing 6-2 on your Harvest Food scoreboard. First shot up by Worth is good on the first free throw. She'll get one more with 2:13 to go. Second shot is good. And stolen away by Worth as Bigfork getting the pressure. Nicholson looking to drive, takes it up and under, and Bigfork can't come up with it. Worth back to Nicholson on the right side, right wing. Worth, top of the key, feeds it out. Three-point shot on the way by Meager, no good. And Rakaya Grindy will come up with a rebound and ties her up. Call held ball. It'll be Bigfork basketball as they trail 8-2. And checking back in for Powell County, number 4, Jesse Gravely, number 14, Riley Gray. So Lamb and Nicholson will take a seat. Inbound, Grindy to Schneller. In the middle to Barrett. Up to Schneller. Schneller looking to attack all the way to the basket. Kicks it out to Santa Stevens. And on the right wing, out to Grindy, top of the key. Grindy to Schneller. Schneller, top of the key. Over to Santa Stevens. Right corner. Rakaya Grindy looking. Feeds it to Schneller. Schneller is going to shoot a three-point shot on the way off the back of the rim. And Santa Stevens will come up the long rebound on the right side. In the corner to Grindy. Grindy, three-point shot from the corner. Off the rim and no good. And Riley Gray will come up the rebound for Powell County and dribble it all the way into the front court. Goes top of the key. Worth from way out. Throws it up and no good. And Powell County comes up the rebound as Gravely. And Barrett tries to save it but was out of bounds. And she crashes in some workers. And it'll be Powell County basketball. Nicholson checks back in for Powell County. Meredith Bedford checks in for the Valkyries. And Sailor Martins also in for Bigfork, number 30. Worth feeds it over to Nicholson. Nicholson looking for Gravely, guarded by Martins. And Nicholson across the he's going to get fouled by Bedford, as number 10, Meredith Bedford, reaches across and picks up her first personal and the 16th foul on Bigfork. Inbound. Good position there, but couldn't get the shot off, is Gray. And Powell County loses it out of bounds off of Gravely. It'll be Bigfork basketball with 44.5 to go here in the first quarter. And the Valkyries trailing 8-2. Inbound, Schneller. Over to Martins. In the corner. Tries to hit Santa Stevens and throws it away as Gray will come up with the loose ball. Worth looking up the court. Gets it out to Nicholson. Check that. That was Nieger. Three-point shot, no good. Bigfork comes up with the rebound. In the front court. To Martins. Out to Santa Stevens. Back to Schneller. Schneller on the right wing. Feeds it in the corner to Santa Stevens. Schneller, right wing. Feeds it over to Bedford with 10 seconds to go. Inside to Martins. Nice pass. Inside by Bedford. Bedford and Martins going to be fouled. And she's going to be fouled by number 14, Riley Gray. Her first and just a second team foul on Powell County. And Alyssa Lamb will return to the lineup for Powell County with 8.4 to go. Inbound. Schneller right to Martins on the drive, and she's going to get fouled as she tries to put it up. And she'll get 2 free throws. And that's Lamb's second personal foul and third team foul. And to the line, Sailor Martins will go. And she'll shoot 2 free throws for the Valkyries. First one, no good. She'll get one more with 6.4 to go here in the first quarter. Sailor Martin hard off the rim, rebounded by Nicholson. Nicholson pushing up the left side, trying to get a last-minute shot. Feeds it underneath. And a shot off at the buzzer, but is no good as it hits off the rim by McKenna Mieger. And 1 quarter complete here between the Valkyries and the Powell County Wardens, and the Powell County Wardens lead 8-2 on your Harvest Foods, a Bigfork scoreboard. We'll be back here after a quick timeout. All right, welcome back to the Western B Divisional Tournament. And Deer will start the second quarter as Scully drives all the way to the basket. Off the rim and no good. Barrett will come up the rebound, but she's going to get fouled. Is Emma Barrett getting that rebound, and the foul is going to be on Scully. Scully, that is her first and the 4th team foul. Inbound to Barrett from Grendy. Back to Grendy. In the backcourt, Grendy looking to drive up. Gives it to Barrett. Barrett in the front court. And she's bumped by, no, check that. They call a illegal dribble on Grendy. Scully in the front court. Kicks it over to Lamb. Lamb looking to Worth. Worth. Back to Lamb. Lamb 3-point shot off the rim and no good. And Grendy comes up with a rebound for Bigfork. Looking to trap in the backcourt. Gives it up to Barrett. Barrett will dribble across the timeline. Looking. Feeds it over to Grendy. Grendy out to Santa Steven. Will set it up as they give it back to Schneller. Schneller looking right side in the far corner as Ashton McAnally is in the ball game for Bigfork. Feeds it underneath Grendy. Looking. Out to Santa Stephen, top of the key, guarded by Scully. In the corner to Ashton McAnally. Sneller over to Santa Stephen, underneath to Barrett. Barrett looking to drive, and she's going to get fouled as a blocking call is called on Alyssa Lamb. And that is Lamb's third already here in the first half, if I'm correct. Yep, and the 15th foul on Powell County. And Sneller to take it out. Feeds it, Grendy. Off the backboard and no good. And rebound by Nicholson. Up to Maya Worth, and Maya Worth will take off running without dribbling the basketball, and that'll be a traveling violation called on Powell County, and turnover to Bigfork as Jordan Senecal will check in for Powell County. 6:45 to go here till halftime, and the Valkyries trailing 8-2 on your Harvest Foods and Bigfork scoreboard. Grindy cross timeline to Bedford, back to Barrett, back to Bedford. Bedford, yep, she did. She took steps and walked. And she was looking to pass. And turnover to Powell County. Inbound to Worth. Or check that Gray. Gray with the basketball. Gives it over to Nicholson on the right side. Look in the corner. Scully. Scully passes it out to Gravely. Shot on the way. Three-point shot. No good by Gray. And Barrett with the basketball. She comes up the rebound. Dribbles up right side. Gives it to Grendy. Grendy top of the key. Over to McAnally in the corner to Bedford, back out to McAnally, top of the key with Sneller, back to McAnally, Sneller, over to Barrett, far corner, Bedford, look, pumps fakes, and tries to throw it through Nicholson, and out of bounds off of Nicholson, and it'll remain Bigfork basketball with 6:01 to go here till halftime. Bedford into Barrett, Barrett kicks it out, Grendy, top of the key, over to Sneller. Sneller. Pressure put on by Powell County. Sneller feeds it to Barrett. Barrett looking to drive. Kicks it up. No good. Nearly gets her own rebound. Saves it to Senecal. And Powell County with the basketball. Senecal looking to come across the timeline. Guarded by Sneller. And Sneller nearly steals the ball. She does. Takes it away from Senecal. And in the front court is Sneller. Looking to drive. Feeds it over to Bedford. Left side. In the corner. To Barrett. Barrett looking underneath for Grendy. Feeds it to Grendy, but... And they're going to call foul as Barrett went out of bounds and tried to feed into Grendy. And that foul is going to be on number 4, Jesse Gravely.
Number 24, Ashley Edgerton returns for the Valkyries, along with number 21, Jordan
Nelson, along with Edgerton, come back in for Bigfork. And Sneller will get a break for the Valkyries. Bedford inbounding. Looking. Feeds it out. Edgerton in the left corner. Back to Bedford. Her three-point shot is blocked by Gravely, but McAnally gets the rebound out to Edgerton. Over to the right side, and Grendy will set it up for the Valkyries. Inside, Edgerton looking for Nelson. Back out to Grendy. Over to McAnally. Right, left side to Bedford, back to McAnally. Grendy, pump fake, feeds it. Oh! Tries to alley-oop backdoor to Edgerton and just throws it just a little bit long. And there'll be a full timeout taken by Powell County with 4:54 to go here till halftime on your Harvest Foods and Bigfork scoreboard. The Valkyries trail 8-2 to the Lady Wardens. We'll be back momentarily. All right, welcome back to the Ronan Event Center. 2019 Western B Divisional Basketball Tournament. It is the first round games. The Valkyries taking on Powell County. And inbound to Powell County as Gray will bring it across the timeline, and Nelson's right there to meet her. Gray, they set the screen over to Senecal. Senecal looking to drive, has to kick it out to Gray. Gray over to Scully. Scully's shot, and she's going to get fouled by Ansley Edgerton on a three-point shot. And that's going to be Ansley's third personal. And she's going to have to sit. The 7th team foul on Bigfork. And Scully will get 3 free throws here in the second quarter. First one up and good by Scully. Here comes the second. Shot up and good. She'll make the second one, and she'll get one more. Third one off the rim, and Nelson comes down with the rebound. So she makes 2 of 3, 10-2 on your Harvest Food scoreboard. Grindy over to McAnally, front court. McAnally looking to drive. Feeds it to Santa Stevens. Santa Steven over to McAnally on the right side. Bedford in the corner, in the far right corner. Bedford out to McAnally. Back to Bedford. Bedford pump fakes. Gives it back out to McAnally. Over to Santa Stevens. Long three by Santa Stevens. Oh, and Santa Stevens finds the bottom of the net for the Valkyries here in the second quarter. And 10-5. Cut the lead in half. 3:58 to go here. And Gray with the basketball. Gives it up to Nicholson. Over. And Gray's shot, three-point shot, is no good. And she's going to get fouled on a three-point shot by Rakaya Grindy. That is her second. And Gray will go to the line, and she'll get 3 as well. First shot off the rim and no good. And the second one up and good by Gray. Barrett replaces Grindy, and Schneller will replace Bedford for the Valkyries. And number 21, Maya Worth, checking back in for Powell County with 3:46 to go till halftime. Third shot up and no good, and Barrett will come up the rebound. Gives it to Schneller in the backcourt. Schneller brings it across the timeline. Over to Santa Steven, back to Schneller. Schneller looking underneath, finds Nelson. Nelson kicks it to McAnally. Over to Santa Steven, back to Schneller. Schneller top of the key. Izzy thought about it. A long three over to McAnally in the right corner. McAnally looking to drive, feeds it to Nelson. It is a kick ball and remain in the possession of Bigfork with 3:21 to go, and they're trailing 11-5. Schneller inbound in the basketball. Looking. Finds it out to Santa Steven. Santa Steven almost loses it. Picks it up and stolen away by Scully. Scully puts up the shot. No good. McAnally comes down the rebound for Bigfork. Dribbles across the timeline on the left side. And she'll feed it out to Barrett. Barrett feeds it out to Schneller. Schneller to Santa Steven. Back out to Schneller, top of the key. Over to McAnally on the left side. McAnally looking underneath. Gives it to Schneller. Over to Santa Steven on the right side. They're going to guard her. Back out to Santa Steven. She switched over to the left side. We'll give it to Schneller. Schneller will feed it in the corner to McAnally. McAnally nearly loses it. Grabs it. Looks to drive baseline. Kicks it to Barrett. Barrett looking on the drive. Feeds it up to Santa Steven. Santa Steven's going to drive. Crossover move. Up and off the rim and no good. And it'll be off Gravely out of bounds. It'll be Bigfork basketball with 2:31 to go till halftime, and trailing 11-5 on your Harvest Food scoreboard. Santa Steven inbound, feeds it to Nelson. Nelson out to Schneller. Schneller looking for Santa Steven on the left side, looking underneath. Santa Steven will get back out to Schneller. A slow pace ball game. Over to McAnally. Schneller with the basketball. McAnally looking to drive, kicks it out to Schneller. And Santa Steven will put up another 3 off the rim and no good. Nelson, they're going to call her for over the back, a push on Jordan Nelson, I believe. That's Nelson's second, and the 19th foul, so Powell County will shoot 1-1. And Micaiah Grindy with those two personals will come back in for the Valkyries, replacing McAnally. And at the line, shooting 1-1.
Also checking back into the game, number 11, Mackenzie Marr.
Number 11. Mackenzie Marr checks in. Line is number 14. She shoots a 1-1, makes the first, so she get another for Powell County. 2:07 to go. Second shot off the rim, off the backboard, and good. And Valkyries trail by 8, 13-5. Into Barrett, over to Sneller. Sneller looking, back to Barrett. Barrett almost loses it. And illegal dribble as Powell County's putting on the pressure on Bigfork, and timeout. A 30-second timeout will be called by the Valkyries, and we'll be back. Back, Powell County basketball on the side. Over to Nicholson to Worth. And look at that traveling violation called on Powell County. It'll be Bigfork basketball with 1:51 to go. 13-5, the Valkyries trail. Grindy brings it across the timeline, feeds it over to Barrett. Barrett in the corner. Santa Steven with the basketball. Dribbles out, finds Nelson underneath. Nelson kicks it to Sneller. Sneller looking to drive, feeds it to Nelson. Nelson shot up the backboard, a little bit hard and no good. And Gray with the recovery gives it up to Nicholson up the right side, and she'll kick it out. Oh, Grindy read that pass, and she's going to take it